Imagine, if you will, your favorite house in the entire neighborhood just came on the market. You are thrilled when you find out it is actually in your price range. So you run out, you call the agent on the sign, go over and you take a look at it, and you're getting ready to write an offer. You are so excited. Well, what do? You talk to your sister the attorney, who you always talk to for these big decisions. And she's like, what? You're ready to write an offer going through the listing agent? That's dual agency. Why would you do that? You need to find some buyer representation. Well, you listen to your sister. And then you go like, okay, well, we got to go find an agent. So you talk to your boss, who you really respect. He's an accomplished business person, and again, he will give you the right advice. And you ask your boss, what agent should you go to? You want to make an offer on this, and he's like, what? Are you stupid? You didn't go through the listing agent? He only goes through the listing agent. Now what do? You've got, on one hand, your sister, the attorney, whose opinion you value, saying, get buyer representation. Then you go, the other person you trust is your successful boss who says, go through the listing agent. Like, oh my God, all you want to do is buy the house down the street that you love. What do you do now? I'll explain. When a seller lists a home, they go with a broker to be their listing agent. That listing agent's job is to market the home, but also to look out for the seller's best interest. They have what's called a fiduciary duty to the seller. If you have a buyer's agent, like your sister in the story recommends, that buyer's agent has a fiduciary duty to that buyer and to look out for the buyer's best interest. Now, if you go with your boss's advice and go with the listing agent, then you'd have a situation called dual agency, where the listing agent represents both the buyer and the seller and would therefore have a fiduciary duty to both parties, which, as you could see, would complicate the situation. So I guess the question is, do you buy through the listing agent? And I get this all the time. And in fact, over the 25 years and 1,000 real estate transactions I've been involved with, a lot of times I see people make the wrong decision. They just think they're stuck on this dogma and they make the wrong decision that's not in their best interest, okay? There's a lot of savvy real estate investors who insist on going through the listing agent. I've seen just as many savvy real estate investors insist on buyer's representation. And the truth is, they're both valid. In order to make the best decision for you and your situation, you need to understand the pros and the cons of both and how it all works. That way, you'll make the right choice. Let me explain. Here's some of the advantages of going through the listing agent directly. One is the listing agent is probably going to know the property better than an outside buyer's agent. Two, the listing agent is going to know the seller's situation and position better than an outside buyer's agent would. So this may help you negotiate a better deal. And three, sometimes there's a little less commission being paid by the seller when you go through the listing agent, and this may sometimes give a little competitive advantage to the buyer in multiple offers. Now, some of the advantages of using buyer representation is that agent is going to know you better than the listing agent. And put those better. If the property is not right for you or the situation is not looking good, they can more easily tell you to, or advise you to go on to another property. They're not just tied to that one property. Also, because they're just representing you, they may be able to advocate your position stronger. And since you're not paying the buyer's agent directly, you might as well take the free representation. Why not? Since both tactics are valid, here's 10 tips and tricks to help you decide what's best for you in your situation. 1. Use a knowledgeable agent who you both like and trust. Remember, this person will be advising and representing you throughout the entire transaction. 2. You haven't settled on an agent? Try a couple till you find one that's a good fit. 3. If you have an agent you like, stick with them as long as they're doing a good job and they still have your confidence. 4. Don't engage the services of too many agents. First of all, they'll drive you nuts. And second, they'll sense you're not loyal to anybody, and therefore you won't get anybody's best effort. 5 is consider using the listing agent. This often works great. Plus, this is a good way to see if you click with that agent, that listing agent, who knows, maybe representing you as a buyer at a different time. 6, when using the listing agent, please realize this is difficult for many agents to represent both parties well. Make sure they're comfortable and experienced. 7, don't make it about commission. Focus should be on your needs, not the agent's compensation. And this counts for both the client and the agent. I've seen it where you're spending over $1 million on a property and you worry about a few $1,000s that the agent's getting. And believe me, agents do earn it. Number 8, don't let the listing agent think they're going to be representing you when you have no intention of doing so. You put yourself in the agent's position, who move their schedule around, showing you a property, giving you advice, thinking they're going to be compensated for it, and then you bring in your cousin to write the offer. If that was handled differently, you'd probably have a lot less arguments. Number 9, make sure it's understood up front if the listing agent will be representing you or not. And if you're not sure, be clear in that communication. That can solve a lot of problems. And 10, if there's something about the process you don't understand, please ask. Don't be afraid of looking stupid. In fact, nothing will make you look smarter than asking a good question. We've done this for over 25 years here. We've had well over 1,000 transactions, and we're more than happy to answer any questions. And if you watched this whole video, thank you. I hope you found it useful, and please like and share it and that sort of thing, and look forward to seeing you.